they have relieved a bit the sleeping drugs, and that's when this speech started. Speech on the operation table, basically, or during the speech, I was plainly threatened to be indirectly lobotomized unless I accept what was, you must declare yourself. Do you know why you are here? Do you know who we are? Do you remember when we talked about and what we have talked about in the store? Again, every time before something have taken place, I have mentioned before, they have threatened with lobotomies, and afterwards we had conversation about extraordinary abductions. This was the next step. The first was the assurance that victim is going to be compliant, that is going to be in fear. After you have already put him in this psychosis, in this neurosis, this angst phobia, then you wanted even to have insurance, and then you actually have performed against him. That's really disgusting, of the worst of the worst of the worst. Anyhow, so if we continue, what we have talked about in this, if you remember if I remember what we have talked in the store about other races, about other cultures, I really have nothing to talk about. But anyhow, I was forced to discuss. We have you here because you didn't want to have nothing to do with those races, with those cultures. Yeah. We have you here because you keep ignoring these people. And now we'll have to stop. And either you will marry and sexually engage with other races, such as blacks, Asians, South Americans, etc., or we will literally lobotomize you. Simple as that. In other words, these people have threatened me to declining me the right to even have any kind of preferences, or I should say any personality at all, which is pretty much equivalent to lobotomy itself, because once the person is lobotomized, that person doesn't have any more preferences. For him, to him, her, everything is the same. It doesn't matter. Black or white, he is dumb. Anyway, he is brain dead. And that's exactly was the same reason. What they have done to me on that operation table, they have completely stripped me of everything. They held me like this for my neck, and the next thing, I was without completely everything, without nothing, even without my dignity, without anything. On this opportunity as well, several others of those garbagers, which I have previously mentioned, who used to engage in threats against me while in the store, or regularly visiting wife, were now present as well, and have begun to voice their concerns, threats and bullying, while I was unconscious. And they became loud how I'm there because they wanted me so. And as it was promised per international community. Wow! Eventually, garbagers were what at least appeared ordered to leave. That's at least what it appeared. That's at least what this person who was in charge for this whole thing have actually directed them. He supposedly was a surgeon or whatever. He actually ordered them to leave because they started to directly threat to me on the operation table. What's going to happen with me? What this is going to be? How I'm going to be afterwards? You know? One of the garbagers who was a regular client and wife store supplier and who would come afterwards too, all these years, was one of them, while the other one was, I will not talk about. I don't want to go into details because it makes absolutely no difference. It absolutely makes no difference. It's a government that is behind this, and it has absolutely no difference. It didn't make difference to me afterwards, because it was not because of these people that what have taken place, but it's because of the government. So it doesn't make sense to go after the people when the government is the one providing and creating all this mess. So this store supplier have eventually dared to cut my oxygen supplies. Even when on our way to the to this hospital, which was Jackson Memorial Hospital, this guy actually have dared to take the mask off my or oxygen supply off my mouth, nose, and therefore I started to choke. I was almost going to choke. That's for one thing. And the person who have now directed them to leave in the room, whatever, at least that's what it appeared again. Who knows what truth is? If it, was the one who have actually told him then too, to ask him actually, what are you doing? You know, what are you doing? Because I started to move, and of course I was without oxygen, and I could break out almost. So this was another type of torture also. What this actually was, he acted as he would help me, you know, but in order, the reason why this was done actually was to horrify, to even more horrify the situation itself of my being abducted from the bed. In other words, it was just the idea to make this whole experience even more horrible than what already was. That's what the idea was. Wow. He continued this procedure for quite a while, or till we arrived to hospital, and actually enjoyed choking me, torturing me, horrifying me, until I mentioned this medical stuff have finally, what it appeared, took over the situation. On my reply, when on operation table, how I am uninterested in those races, as simply finding them ugly, you know, unattractive to them, unattracted to them, you know, uninterested. Find something ugly, you're simply not interested in it. You're interested as much as you're obligated to deal with. And that nobody over that, nobody really in this world should be allowed, or is allowed according to what is law, which is lie, nothing else but lie. From universal rights, from Universal Declaration of Human Rights, this and that, to American Constitution is nothing else but lie. So, anyhow, these people have taken away from me even what are preferences, dignity, everything that human can have, and have me for the choke like this on operation table for absolutely no reason at all, as I haven't committed any crime at all. As he stated, if I disagree, if I disagree with what he have stated earlier, in other words, that I would have to allow these minorities into my private life, and further to sexually engage with them, and even marry them, he would have to perform lobotomy surgery on me right there, right then. So it's your choice, as he exclaimed. It's your choice. What is it going to be? What are you going to choose? Choose right now and here. Okay? Upon my realizing the situation, what have taken place, I have decided to agree with the criminals. My reply was aside, yes, I will. Yes, I didn't have choice. We're going to do this, or the idiot is going to really go and smack you the nail or whatever in your head, as you have seen in that video, and you're about done. Done for your lifetime.